What's going on? Long fucking day considering I didn't go out and work. Ugh. Woke up. Well, let's just say yesterday was rough. I went out for work yesterday, and it was not a day where I actually felt better going out. It was one of those days I felt okay. I felt terrible, but like tolerable. Then when I got home, it got worse and worse and worse. And then most of the day was really shitty. And it's not the physical symptoms that bother me so much. It's the warping of my fucking brain feeling. It's such a mess. I don't get it. I seriously don't. It's like I'm sure it's all Remeron based. I don't think like after I overdid Remeron, I think my brain's just not handling the Remeron well. So, at some point when I go back to tapering, some of this will feel better. There'll be parts of me that feel better and parts of me that feel worse. And the worst part is the glitching brain where it's flashing and making massive amounts of information going crazy. That's the part that's going to fuck me up. That's the part that keeps me from tapering too. It's absolutely frustrating. Ugh. But like this morning, I woke up feeling really heavy. I'm like, okay, it was weird. It's not my norm, that's for sure. I always have a certain feeling, usually the day after I go to work. It's been pretty consistent for years. After I fucked up the Remeron, it changed a little, and I'm still learning because things keep changing for me. So now I've got this annoying dizziness feeling. It's not like regular dizziness or vertigo. It's just that I had it before a few years back, and it's just this like washing dizziness in your head, and it feels exhausting. And usually it can kind of calm down if I sit back down and calm down. But if I'm on my feet too much, it'll start. I take out the dog, it starts. It's just this wash that goes over my head. So stupid. Makes no sense. Almost 4 months later from a cut. But in general, some things are better, some things are worse. These are the days I sit and think, I have no idea how I'm going to get through this. Seriously. Everything's so fucking daunting. Every time I think about my relationship, I'm like, oh God, how am I going to even bear this to finish the taper? How am I going to, because at this point, I'm starting not to be able to fake it all the time. I've been really good about faking it because I was getting better year after year. Every year I was getting a little better. Now I gotten worse. So it's like that setback alone has ruined all my fucking confidence. That confidence is what I was confidence of getting better year after year, even though I was bad. That confidence is what kept me going, to be honest. So it just kind of sucks. So safe to say it's been a rough day. I'm feeling a little bit better. I did manage to go on a 0.37 mile walk, which isn't much again, but at least I'm moving. And honestly, I think that little bit helps me feel 3% better. We actually warmed up to about 30 degrees, which is funny to a lot of people, but here, because it was like negative 20. So like it's like 50-degree difference. So it actually felt reasonably okay. But since I was having such a rough fucking day, I didn't take a longer walk. Although my dog would have liked to go farther. Yeah. I'm gonna finish the Ozark season tonight. Just one more episode to go. It's a good show. Took me a little bit to get into that show. Like, it's a slower show, but the storyline is fantastic. Acting is pretty good. Some good characters. That has nothing to do with my day, other than later when I watch it. I did manage to get a bunch of shit done today, but it was kind of like just pushing myself. I'm hoping I feel a little bit better tomorrow. I could do without the depression today was rough. I mean, it's still there. The depression was rough. Hey, yeah, it is. So I was getting really down earlier about, just in general, the depression was there. So that instantaneously put me in this mode of, how am I going to do this? I'm never going to get through this. How am I going to taper again when I feel like this? Blah blah blah. It's a hard thing to comprehend when you're trying to live a day to day life. I mean, suffering. I mean, I know people just see me talking, and they don't. A lot of people don't think I have as many issues as I claim, but I do, and I push through them all. And I'm at a breaking point. I'm more at a breaking point now, and I don't know how to deal with it, to be honest. I need more coping techniques. I need to reevaluate everything and how I'm going to do this and what I'm going to do to be able to get through this. I need to be confident in my relationship with my girlfriend so I can be sick without worrying about my relationship. There's a lot of things I need to tackle. We're going to be moving and it's kind of like up in the air. That's fucked. Um, there's just a bunch of bullshit. And then I got a text today from my dentist. Said I have a fucking appointment on the 3rd of February. I must have made it last year. It's kind of good, but it's kind of good that I didn't have to think about it all month. But damn, I really don't want to go to the dentist. At least I didn't just cut my meds or anything. I would have had to cancel it. But it's a 40-minute drive. It's not going to be easy. I can tolerate it. As long as, since it's been a little while since my cut, I can tolerate more. But, ooh. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's one of those days. Just one of those days. I have a lot of those fucking days, but it was weird because normally I don't wake up and feel that heavy and doomed. And then I went to, and this has been going on all month, but I'll lay down for a nap or something because I try to lay down every day. And I think I fall asleep, but I never am positive if I fall asleep or not. The only way I can tell is because I have the TV on and I can see how long it's been, like how many shows passed. Like I was watching Leave It to Beaver. The show puts me to sleep, I guess. And I didn't feel I went to sleep at all. And then when I looked, It was a episode and a half later, so it's like I must have fallen asleep, and that's kind of how it's been for over a month. Where, well, longer than that, where like I can't tell if I'm falling asleep, but I probably am. But it's not any kind of like good sleep. And then I woke up feeling heavy as fuck, completely exhausted. I think it helped though, because I certainly feel a little bit better than earlier. But yeah, it's one of those things like with me getting ripped off benzos and then being put on Remeron. Getting off Remeron is absolute torture because my nervous system's so fucking fucked. I can't even taper it. And I'm at 1.1 milligrams. Most people would just jump off that. If I got taken off that, I'd probably die. I mean, physically wouldn't die, but mentally, I don't think there's any way I could handle it. Because when I doubled my taper last, which wasn't much, that's what threw me into this fucking hell, and I can barely taper anymore. Whereas before, I was at least able to taper. So I don't really know. I don't really know what to do, but hang in there. If it's getting better, like you said, slightly better is better than no better, but it can take a while. You know, I don't plan on being off of Remeron for a long time. And then when I'm off of it one day, I'm sure it's going to take a couple years before I even feel tolerable. But, and that's also fucking daunting. I mean, seriously, how am I going to hold on? How am I going to hold on to a relationship? And then it's like, how am I going to be able to do all this by myself? I guess I have no choice, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's the thing. I know I'm going to be in hell every day, but I want to know what kind of hell. Yeah, this has just become me. And I literally gonna have to talk to my girlfriend and say, this is the way it's gonna be for a long time. It's already been a long time, but I almost want to give her an ultimatum, which I know I shouldn't do, and be like, if you can't handle it, then go now while I can tolerate it to a point. Because there's gonna be a point where I won't be able to. And I'd rather have some practice behind me being alone than when I'm in pure suffering, you know. Because the further I go down is the harder it's going to get. Like some things get better because I get lower on the Remeron, but my nervous system can't handle it. So I literally go through cycles and cycles and cycles of waves for months on end every time I taper. At least that's the way it is now. It wasn't like that before. And it's like now I'm in this other, I don't know why I've got nose all running now. Just sneezing here and there today. Just a rough day. In about 5 minutes, I'm going to cut out of here. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Then I'm going to go finish Ozark. Last episode today. Whew. I'm glad I feel a little bit better now. I just hate having the issues I have because some issues will never go away, and I know that. But they're being heightened because of this withdrawal shit. and nervous system shit. And honestly, I cannot wait till it calms down one day. It's gonna be feel like a whole new me. But why should I had to go through a decade of hell just to get to it, you know? These fucking doctors are such assholes. I can barely even remember me before this anymore. I'm actually dreaming of me being sick now. That took a long fucking time. I mean, I was dreaming regular me for years. It wasn't to the last year that I'm sick in my dreams. That sucks. That's become me. Oh God. Yeah, you can always come on and relate with me. And honestly, it was funny because the stupid ass fucking psych doc who he just told me it was a sleep medication. And in those days, which wasn't realistic, I mean 5 years ago, I didn't know shit about medication. I just figured they were all right. You know, I didn't think anything of it. But he said it's a sleep medication and it's really easy to get on and off. It'll be the easiest drug you can get on and off of. So take it how long you need it, and then you can just kind of get off of it when you need to. I said, fuck, that sounds amazing. Thank you. And it worked like a charm, other than it put me into a fucking huge zombie fog. But that's the joke. I thought it was just putting me into a zombie fog. It ended up, it was giving me half the problems I was having, and I was blaming on everything else. And I can never tell you 100% where each symptom came from. I got ripped off of benzos for fuck's sakes. That's hell in one thing. My nervous system damage in general, that's a whole other fucking thing. And then Remeron, God. And then I saw another psychiatrist at once, and she just gave me that bullshit taper. I told her how bad it was. At that time, I was probably on like 5 milligrams or something. And she just did that same bullshit tape or bullshit they try to tell you. Oh, cut it in half one day, take it the next day, cut it in half the next day. You know where I'm going with that. And I'm just like, fuck no. It's the last time I saw her. So I lied to my current psychiatrist for years just so I could taper it. And then when I fucked up the taper and over tapered, and mind you, it was like nothing. Um, it made me so sick. I ended up spilling my guts to my psychiatrist. And although that could have turned bad, it didn't. It was really good because now my psychiatrist completely supports my taper. She said she doesn't care if I taper it little by little or not. She said just stay on what you're on, which is 1.1 milligrams. And she prescribes me 15 milligram pills, 30. And it's great. So I have a collection of them in case I ever get ripped off of them. At least I could taper. It would still be hell because I couldn't taper as long as I want, but at least I could have some. Yeah, I understand. I mean, if you're not in complete, if you're not fucking hallucinating all the time and everything's not a fucking complete illusion in your life, you'll get through it. It's sometimes it can be so bad. And if they took me off of what I'm on now, it would be absolute complete torture. I wouldn't be able to work. I wouldn't be able to do shit. At least this way, I'm suffering like fuck, and it sucks. Mentally, it's the hardest thing for me. But at least, I'm able to like get some shit done. Sorry, I'm doing a couple things here. Oh, good. Uh, no. Time for me to end this. Nice chatting with you a little bit there. And what the fuck I'm allergic to? I better not be coming down with nothing. So that's another thing. I get the fucking sniffles, and I think I'm gonna, something's going on. Just sucks. It's always something. But anyway, you have a good evening, and maybe we'll catch each other soon. Later.